At this point, I'm sure you've heard and seen this drama. But today I'm not here to talk about the drama, but I'm here to just focus about how can we actually draw the side profile. So we can always start with a circle. And then the center of the circle is kind of where the eyebrows go. And then the idea here is that this comes down to the jaw, and then we can just connect and make the shape of the face. Now, one thing that guide does is that it says if you have the nose here, you just have to go down this way. And the mouth has to fit inside that line. In this case, for the most part, it does, because it is a Caucasian person and it looks like it works for this face. But then if we look at a drawing here, if we do the same thing, and then we have the nose here, we see that that doesn't really work, because when we bring it down, we see that the lips is outside it. And that's okay, that's just the shape of the face, and we need to learn that these guides are just guides, these are not rules. And we can see the third example here, similar idea, comes down, and in this case, that shape works. So Ethan Becker and Samdoesarts have done videos explaining two other guides that we can use to draw the bottom half of the face. So Ethan Becker's method explains a way that we can do a similar guide, and he calls it the anti-racist triangle. So what it is that you create the circle just like normal. You have the nose, and then you go from the eye towards the beginning of your top of the lip, and then you extend that down towards the chin. So then the rest of your lip or mouth or the bottom part of the face can be along that triangle. So let's look at it again. So you go the nose like this, right? So your initial triangle is this, which doesn't work. Then you bring a line down here, and then you go bring it here. So now everything should be within that triangle. After I watched Ethan Becker's method, I was a little bit confused. Like, the method works and I understand it, but it is a bit confusing. So then I watched Sam's method, and I like his method a little bit more, where he says draw a circle, you have the nose, and then you know where your chin is. Then you follow a curvature similar to the curvature that you have here for the face towards the nose, and then you follow that naturally towards the chin. And then this helps you know where the lips go. So Ethan's method has lots of triangles and it might be a bit confusing, but Samdoesarts method is more kind of intuitive and you can follow it using this curvature. So for example, if we go through this character here, if we follow a curvature and bring it like that, if our character was an African character, we can extend this out and have it look more like this. And that will make the features align a little bit more with a different ethnicity of a character. So now let's just do a drawing, and we'll try and do this character here, and we'll go through the process and see how that goes. So if you struggle knowing where the different parts of the face go, you can download a portrait guide that I have in the description, and it will show you exactly where the eye goes and where the nose and where the mouth goes. But essentially you start with the outline of the face, and I like to draw the nose first. And when I wanted to draw the mouth, especially from the side, it's important to consider the different planes. And what I mean by that, if you look at the nose, from the bottom of the nose it's facing down, then facing up, down, up, down, up, down. And just remembering this simple tip of the planes, you'll be able to really draw the bottom half of the face really quickly. And then when it comes to actually painting it and adding the lights and shadows, you'll know exactly where these planes are facing, and then you'll know if the light is hitting it or if it's in shadow. And then I also try to verify with Sam's method to kind of see if this works, and it really does. You can see that the curvature from the head down to the chin really follows where I put the mouth. On the side profile, the eyes is very simple. It's really just a triangle. You can really simplify it into that. And just to give it some dimensions, you can just add the lines for the upper and the lower eyelid. After that, really the main parts are done, and you can just continue and try and add more details, like the ears, for example. You know that the ears is between the eyebrow line and the bottom of the nose, so you can add it there, and then you can just continue on adding the neck, the clothing if you want, and then the hair after that. So once I had the sketch done, it was time to start painting. Painting darker skin tones is very interesting because a lot of people may struggle with it and may find it difficult, but really all it is to go towards the red. So when you're picking your color, pick a color that is more towards the red, and then you can increase the saturation and the value, and then the colors will look more vibrant and more believable than if you just pick a yellow color. I'm not going to get too much into details about rendering, but really what you need to think about is where is the light coming from, and then just color your painting based on that. When you're doing shadows, you can just pick a more saturated and a darker color to give you a more interesting shadow shape. And always try to be zoomed out first. Use a big brush, add all those big light and shadow shapes first, and then you can start zooming in and adding more details afterwards. So I think looking at this practice and painting this side profile, the most important thing to learn is that all of these rules that we see online, they're not really rules. Most of the time, they're just guidelines, and we should treat them as guidelines and not treat them as hard rules. And just when you're painting, look at your reference, learn from your reference, and try and learn from those and apply the guidelines that you see into your paintings. If you want to learn more about how to paint and render different skin tones, you may want to watch this video here.